excited to get to sit over this coffee and hear a little bit more about what God's been kind of doing in your life over the last couple of years and what he's been teaching you. And so maybe let's start here. Tell me your story. I know you just recently moved to Charlotte, so tell me more about like how you got here and a little bit of your testimony.
I lived in Florida, and I had a lot of friends in Florida, and I had a lot of connections, and I just had like a very strong bond with my friends. But it was never, at the beginning, it was never about Jesus and God. It was never that sort of connection. We were just all friends, and they were very religious. They were very, had a very strong relationship with God. Then my friend invited me to one of her church services, and it was kind of like a worship night. And I was very hesitant to go because I was not close to God. And I was very scared because I was scared of what they would think of me. Like, I felt like I didn't fit in within the church community or like within the Christian community because I was just never close to God. Then I went, and I didn't feel very comfortable at first just because I was very they were very, they loved God a lot. Like, they were very passionate, charismatic about it. And I was just not like that. I was very distant. So it felt kind of like I was out of place. And I told them that. So after that, I started dating one of my friends. And he and I, he started telling me about church and about God. And he told me that I should watch Pastor Furtick on YouTube. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. So I watched one of the sermons that he had sent me. And I felt very inspired, very passionate. I was I can feel Jesus' love.
Wow.
And so I was very shocked. Wow. And that's when I started learning more about God and getting into it more. And slowly it started increasing into this thing that took over my life. Wow. And I felt very connected to God. We moved here, and my parents were still very lukewarm. Actually, Elevation, the main campus, was 8 minutes away. Wow. And I was very shocked by it, and I was like, did you do that on purpose? And it wasn't on purpose. And so that was just very cool. I know, and that was just very cool. And I was very excited about it, and I feel like that definitely proved to me that definitely it's for a reason. All these things that had happened had been for a reason, and just my faith was getting stronger as it was happening. And I got to see when we moved here, my dad and my parents wanting to give a chance to going to church and worshiping. And I got to see them connecting to God. Jesus used me in order to get them to be closer to God. The way that Jesus moved in my life in ways that I have just never experienced before, all because of the people I met, back where I used to live, and the people I've met because of God here. And it's just all very cool, and I get to see and watch as my faith grows along with my families, and all because I went to one church service.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Tell me a little bit, what do you feel like God's doing through you in this season? Because it's very apparent that God's using you. So what do you feel like he's using you to do?
Right now, I feel God has showed me many ways in how I'm able to serve as a way for him to connect other people to him. Yeah. But right now I feel like he's using me more for I want to say guidance, but not fully. I want to say that he's showing me how to bring people peace kind of in their situations through my testimony and through how I connect with God. So I feel being able to show people the way of how to connect with God through community is what Jesus is trying to do through me right now, and with many different people.
Okay, Lucia, at Youth Night this last week, you had the opportunity to talk about one of the mindsets and get to share with all of the Valentine youth, which was amazing. Mm-hmm. You were incredible. And you shared about the mindset, I'm not stuck unless I stop, and just what God has kind of done and taught you through that mindset. Can you tell me about what this mindset, I'm not stuck unless I stop, has meant to you?
Yeah. So I really like talking at Youth Night.
You did a great job.
It was very exciting. I talked about I'm not stuck unless I stop. I feel like that could mean a lot of things to me, but personally, I've had this thing where I was very I was not very like continuous in like what I did, and like very like I would do something that I was passionate about for about like a couple months, and then I'd stop. And it was hard because if you wanted to see, you know, like results and your progress, it's like it has to be, you know, you have to do it a lot and you have to practice it a lot.
Consistency.
Yeah, you have to be consistent. But I wouldn't do that. So it was very hard because there was like no seeing like progress, not only like in physical things, but also like mentally and like my own, you know, self. My dad, when I hadn't moved here, my dad told me about, like, he gave me this like dad talk about this tree that was in front of my house that grew. And he was like, that tree, because it was a big tree, so he was like, that tree didn't start off like he just popped up as a tree, like it was a seed first, and then it grew, and it's like it had to go through like many things in order to become this big tree that drops seeds now. And so every time I would be doing something and I would have like this need to stop or like just be done with it, I would refer to the tree, and it would like always like continue to like inspire me and, you know, make me consistent. And then we moved, and it was obviously, well, the tree did not move with us. But when I moved to my house, that same, like, it was not the same tree, but like a very similar tree was in front of my window too. And that's the tree I look to when I'm also having the same problem. And I feel like this could connect to like Jesus and like God, because I feel like, first of all, I don't think that anything is a coincidence, but apart from that, I also think that it's like very, like, it's a tree that in faith you grow. You start off as a seed, and then you grow, and then you become this tree, and then you start dropping seeds. And it's like very inspiring, because it's like I want to be a tree. I want to, like, I started off as a seed, and now I'm a tree and I'm blooming, and I want people to see that blooming, and I want to plant seeds so that other people can bloom as well.
I love that.
So yeah, I'm not stuck unless I stop. If I were to have stopped in any of, like, you know, my journey with God, with Jesus, in other activities like school or something like that, I would have never been where I am right now. And that tree, that consistent like reminder from Jesus that you're not, you need to just continue growing. It's like, it leads me to the growth I have today, and it leads me to the person I will be in the future. Like, if you want to see yourself, like in the book, it talks about how you have to be the new you right now. So yeah, I feel like it's helped me a lot to like envision what the new me would be doing in situations like that.
Incredible. Thank you so much for sharing your story, and I love seeing what God's done. Every step of the way, every small decision, every small like moment of obedience to see where you are now. It makes me so excited to see what God's going to continue to do through you. You're only a sophomore in high school, so you've got so much more time to just see all that God wants to do. And so we're so proud of you. Guys, do you love Lucia? She's the best.